Well, hello and welcome back to part 14 of the EVA pod build. Today we're going to actually work on some more door assembly. This is going to be a two-parts thing because I'll start off doing some mask removal and then I'll move to putting some lights in the back of the door, and then I go back to like decals and a little bit of weathering with the panel liner. So it's kind of all over the place. It's not, so I figured I'd split it up into two parts because there is a lot with this door, especially lighting all the things that I'm going to light on it. So let's head for the bench. Okay, here we are. The door is all painted up. It's pretty dry. It's still humid here from the storm, so it's taking a little longer for things to fully cure. But I already put the handles in. Just wanted to see what those look like. But I haven't peeled up the tape because on the back I have. So those are the areas that are going to be exposed for the light to come through. But I wanted for these to cure a lot more before I actually remove tape. So I'm going to give, because this was acting a little weird when I tried to remove tape last night, I'm going to give it a little bit of a score and see if we can get it up without it trying to peel. Nope. And I'm thinking it's that black paint that I used for a light block. Not really liking it. And the paint still might be a little fresh, like I said. There we go. That'll be for the decal. This here only has that black, and I think because of that paint being enamel, it's really elastic and just is not wanting to cooperate. So these are areas where I can do little scores. You just lightly score it so that you don't have to cut down. I'll make sure the decal sticks down there nice and good. But yeah, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but you can see how it's only lighting up in this corner because I only masked right there, because that's where on the decal there's that little LED. So now hopefully I might add a little bit on the edges here to help it not try to leak, because it does. You can see a little lightness. Now the decal is all black except for the two red areas, and maybe has some writing. So anyway, let's get this center one out where the big caution sign will be. My biggest worry with it acting like this is these little circles that I put down. It's got to be that black paint I used for light locking, because I usually stuff peels right up. That's why I'm filtering away from using all the enamels, and lacquer paints aren't too bad. They dry so fast. And once they do, they dry nice and hard. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about these. Actually, I'm a lot worried about those. I might let it sit and cure longer before I peel those, because to try to cut little circles, it's going to be a pain. Let's see how that's glowing. That's glowing good. So there we go, besides the dots, and I think I'm going to hold off, like I said, on those. No real reason to do that. It'd be nice to see how they're shining through, although I do have to pull the vinyl masks. There we go. I forgot to pop them out. And they're working great. Should have just painted it with that. If I needed something like this, I always used the old kitchen remedy, just grabbing some toothpaste. Black paint that was really inexpensive, and now I see why. And usually I have pretty good luck with Rust-Oleum, but that, nope. Yeah, so hopefully we can go and these will pop off a little better once the enamel, that's what I'm thinking, it's the enamel underneath has not fully cured. And with all the layers of paint under, you know, on top of it, even though the acrylics are very thin, did a lot of coats, but it always lays very thin. Cut those little tails off. I wanted to scrape off before, where it either bled under or when I was peeling it up. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put this label down and this label down, and then do a satin clear, and then put this label down, because I kind of want this label to have a shine like decals normally have. I kind of want it to look like it's a glass or a piece of clear styrene. You know, kind of like the, because that's going to glow red just like these guys, which have a clear plastic in front of them, so they it gives off a little shine, you know, like it is a normal light fixture. So to kind of give it the effect of how these lights on here have that more shiny look. So we're going to try to pull that just by the decal being shiny, and being that that's a decal that it's not going to ever get touched. It's inside. The only time it's going to be exposed is when you close the door and you can't get your hand in there, and then to open the door you can, and then it's hidden behind something else, so it won't get touched, so the decal won't get damaged. So there's no real reason to seal that decal. Now the next thing with the door, technically, is to get some lights in here, and we got to design a way that the lights are going to shine, because we got all these explosion bolts to hit, plus just the corner of this area. It's really this lower right corner. So what I'm thinking is, and then we got this guy here, it's going to affect this here. And then that one there. And that's what we'll do. Bring her down just a hair. Just a hair. I'm using this one dot in the center kind of as a center line, because it kind of is giving me an idea where the center is. But now I have a positive here and another positives there. I stick this positive here, right, because it fits right in between them. I can just run a little metal wire and just bloop bloop. Just, if not, I could probably scooge the solder over to make the connection between the two. So that's what we'll try. If not, we'll use a little jumper wire. Yeah, so I gotta put right on this corner here. And I'll just coil the wire there and just grab power off of there. Probably down the bottom-ish, because it's going to feed down there that way. The door. And I'm going to take a quick break and probably get this painted with a white, because now's a good time to, I can just put a little something here to cover these from getting hit, and give this a quick paint. Edges look all good. Now we can put this door together. Well, last night before going to bed, I popped out those round masks from Aztec Dummies window masks that I had left over from, I think it was the NX01. So I have to thank him for always leaving and doing some extra stuff to use up the vinyl sheet. Those extra shapes always come in handy for other projects, and that worked great. And hopefully we'll get enough of that white stripe and, you know, a little bit of the red to kind of glow. But the light's coming through it great. If I hold it up to that light, I don't know if I can get a, you can see a little bit there. There we go. So they're shining through those holes really nice. And that micro mask worked great. So I guess as far as this part, we're ready to put those decals on, do a clear. But I do want to do some panel lining and bring some dimension and shadowing. And hopefully it'll work with the panel liner. I don't know if it might need to be thinned a little more, because it is a panel liner, so it is dark. I used it on the ceiling, especially where the pipes were, and in these little cubby holes, and it worked really good, especially then when you hit it with a clear, it really blends it in. So I'm going to try that on this. Let's not go heavy. I just want the edges. I don't want it to flow too much. Yeah, that's working. Outside the edges. Just want to give a little dimension, shadowing. Really hit it down on the bottom. Like I said, right now it's going to look just like with all washes. It's going to look a little more extreme at first, and then once it dries, yeah. A clean Q-tip. Let me try one of the regular old household Q-tips, because it's just a big. Got to be careful I don't keep pulling it off though. Almost should just wait till it dries. And then put a little thinner on a Q-tip. But yeah, I gave the dimension I'm looking for. I think that's all. Wait for that to dry. and we'll clean that up. But I think that's all I want to do to the door. Yeah. I think it'll get too extreme if I put it around each of the little bolt areas. And we'll come back to it. Or we can put some of the decal work down while that's drying. Okay, got a tray of water. I know I didn't just magically change. I did a few more things on the travel to get water for the decal. Alright, let's get my... This has the thinner in it. So I did clean out. I took some manual thinner, enamel thinner, and cleaned that back out. So now that the panel line stuff dried in, I like getting rid of the numbers so you don't ever have them float under your decal or something weird. They always seem to want to do that. They're attracted to each other or something. But I got this painted white, just with a nice little simple base coat. We can do other coats later, because I do see a speck of dirt there and a little red hair there. And then what I'm going to do here with these bolts in the back is actually paint them silver and then put the decal on, because the decal has an opening for the silver part, instead of putting the decal in and then trying to do the detail. So if you have an oops, it should hopefully give you a straight line, but we'll still try to make it nice and flat. Alright, you should be free. Yes, you are. So we should get some moisture down here. How's the light shine through? Oh, I think that might give it the effect I'm looking for. That would be wonderful. I have to do a little block of black there and a little block of black down there. But it's definitely giving you the look of that light's coming up from up top. I'm going to say that's good enough. And now, time for the multiplicity of these bolts. We're not going to do them in. Let's get the, where's my scissors? There we go. Let's get rid of the number. So we don't have that try to float around under stuff. So I guess we got, what we got, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So we can do them in 2, 4, and then 2. Let's start off with just 2. Alright, I'm going to say that those are probably ready to move. They're small. So let's do this one and this one. I think these are supposed to go straight. The curve of the door makes it hard. I think those are supposed to go like that. The line's supposed to go between 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, if I remember. Inside door. Yeah. This will give me a better idea. Sorry about getting so close. This will give me a better idea of how centered they are. shine light through them. And that's going to work. Oh man, I'm liking it. Looks like this one needs to slide that way, but I might have had my mask just a hair to the right. It's nothing that's going to make you say, oh, okay. But that's cool. Enough back there that when you look back there, you're going to see that door glowing. So, let's keep it. Those should be ready. Come on, light. Okay, dab a little water on. What I put on the last ones was perfect. Love it. I don't know if I can get it to do it for the camera at this. You can kind of see them glowing. You can definitely see that they're lighting, you know, they're lighting up. So once we have brighter light, you know, source behind them, that should work good. So that makes me happy. Like the day I sprayed this door, it was so humid out from 2 days of rain. But there, the nose should shrink down. We'll see how much of a circle we get for where the mask was for those round explosion bolts. But like I said, I don't mind if it does that, especially if it's all centered in the center of the decal, which it should be. I mean, it looks like everybody's pretty, because then that gives that bolt a little dimension instead of just being a flat thing with a decal. So yeah, we'll let them dry, because we definitely want to let that dry before we add the clear, because otherwise we can have issues where the water gets trapped under the clear as well and it's trying to evaporate, and you can get weirdness happening.